You know, life has a funny way of reminding us of a simple truth. Nothing changes until we decide it should. And decision alone isn't enough. Wishful thinking won't move the needle. Hope is beautiful, but hope without a plan is just a quiet dream. If you want progress, real progress, you must sit down, take a breath, and chart your course. Think of your future like a destination. You don't get there by wandering. You don't arrive by accident. You get there because you designed the path. You created the map. You set the steps in motion. And once a plan is in place, even the smallest effort begins to build momentum. But without that plan, days turn into months, and months turn into years, all while we wonder why things never change. The truth is simple. If you don't plan your life, someone else will plan it for you, and you might not like where they take you. So today, let this be the moment you take back the pen, the moment you draw the blueprint. Because when you create a plan, you create possibilities. And when you follow it with discipline, you create progress. And that, more than anything, can change everything. The foundation of every achievement begins with a clear plan. It may seem like an obvious idea, almost too simple to matter, yet it is the quiet force behind every success story you've ever admired. Nothing extraordinary is built on accident. Nothing meaningful comes from drifting through life, hoping things will somehow fall into place. Every great accomplishment, whether in business, health, relationships, or personal growth, started as a vision that was written down, structured, shaped, and committed to. A plan is not just a list of goals. It is a declaration of intention. It tells the world, this is where I'm going, and this is how I intend to get there. It becomes a blueprint that keeps your mind steady and your actions aligned, even on the days when motivation goes missing. Think about a builder standing on an empty lot. Before a single brick is set, before any concrete touches the ground, there must be a blueprint. Without it, the builder could work for months and still end up with something unstable, uneven, or useless. The same principle applies to life. Without direction, you may put in effort, perhaps even a great deal of effort, but your energy scatters. You move, but you don't progress. You work hard, yet you remain stuck in the same place because you never decided where all that work was supposed to take you. A plan gives shape to your dreams. It takes what you want and turns it into something you can actually act on. Many people say they want success, but few can describe what success means for them. Many want change, but they can't outline what needs to change or how they will change it. A plan forces clarity. It demands that you take your vague wants and turn them into specific steps. It forces you to ask real questions. What do I want? Why do I want it? What must I do today, this week, this month, to move in that direction? These questions take courage because once you answer them, you're responsible for what happens next. A plan does more than point to the destination. It transforms your mindset. When you know where you're going, distractions lose their power. You stop chasing every shiny opportunity because you already understand what fits your path and what doesn't. Instead of reacting to life, you begin responding with purpose. The moment you create a plan, your energy reorganizes, your focus strengthens, your decisions sharpen. And slowly, without you even noticing it first, your life begins to shift into alignment with your intentions. People often think they need motivation before they can create a plan. But the truth is the opposite. A plan produces motivation. It gives you something to wake up for, something to protect, something to fight for. It turns your days into milestones rather than empty routines. When you know the steps, taking action becomes easier. You're no longer overwhelmed by the size of your dreams because you've broken them down into pieces you can handle. Progress becomes visible. Even the smallest step feels meaningful because you know it connects to something larger. A clear plan also teaches discipline. Once you map out the steps, you begin to understand that success is built through consistency, not bursts of inspiration. When you commit to your plan, you're training your mind to follow through, to keep promises to yourself, to stay the course even when the road becomes difficult. That quiet discipline becomes one of the most powerful forces in your life. It builds confidence, and confidence builds more action. And perhaps the most important part of having a plan is the sense of control it gives you. Life may throw challenges, surprises, and setbacks your way, but when you have a plan, you're never completely lost. You may need to adjust your route, reorder your steps, or slow down for a moment, but you always know where you're heading. A plan turns chaos into direction and potential into real, tangible progress. Progress does not happen by accident, it happens by intention. Nothing meaningful in life drifts into existence on its own. Progress is not a gift handed out randomly, nor is it something that simply appears because time has passed. The world is full of people who waited for life to change on its own and ended up watching years slip away with nothing different to show for it. Real progress, the kind that moves you forward, reshapes your habits, transforms your thinking, and alters the direction of your life, begins the moment you decide to act with purpose. It begins when you say, I'm done leaving my future to chance. I'm going to shape it. Every breakthrough, every achievement, every turning point is rooted in intention. You choose change before change chooses you. You decide who you want to become, and then you start behaving like the kind of person who moves in that direction. It doesn't start with massive leaps. It starts with a mindset shift, a simple recognition that your actions must align with your desires. If you want more, you must do more. If you want better, you must become better. Progress does not arrive in your life because the calendar flips. It arrives because your decisions change. Intentional action is powerful because it gives weight to your days. You stop going through life on autopilot. You stop letting circumstances push you around like a leaf in the wind. Instead, you begin steering your own course. Every morning becomes an opportunity to take a step, no matter how small, toward the life you want. And when you take those intentional steps consistently, something incredible happens. Momentum begins to build. That momentum becomes a force of its own, a quiet engine, driving you forward. Suddenly, things that once felt overwhelming become manageable, then familiar, then effortless, all because you started with intention. Many people misunderstand progress. They think it's supposed to be loud, dramatic, or instantly noticeable. But progress often begins in silence. It begins in private decisions, choosing to learn instead of scroll, choosing to practice instead of procrastinate, choosing to try again instead of give up. These small intentional choices accumulate. They shape your habits, they mold your character, and they compound into results that, at first, even you can't believe. But none of it happens without deliberate action. Intention also requires honesty with yourself. You must be willing to look at your life and say, this isn't working, or I can do better, or I've been avoiding what I know I need to do. That kind of honesty is uncomfortable, but it's essential. Without it, you drift. You make excuses. You wait for the perfect moment, the perfect mood, the perfect opportunity, and all that waiting steals your time. But the moment you say, enough, let's move, everything shifts. Intention breaks the spell of passivity. It wakes you up. It's important to understand that intention is not the same as desire. Desire is wanting. Intention is deciding. Desire dreams about the destination. intention starts walking toward it. That difference, though it sounds small, separates those who change their lives from those who simply talk about changing their lives. You can want something with all your heart and still make no progress if you never turn that want into deliberate action. The beauty of intentional progress is that it doesn't require perfection. You don't have to get every step right. You don't need flawless execution. You just need direction and commitment. You need to show up with purpose, even on the days when it feels slow, when it feels hard, when it feels